There is a brand new one-off Ferrari, and this is called the BR20. Now, it's based on the GTC4 Lusso, but this of course has, as you can see, a more of a coupe-like design. It's supposed to be an homage to the iconic Ferrari's coupes of the 50s and 60s. However, I have a problem with this design. I'm going to talk about that throughout this entire video. I just quickly want to talk about what this actually is. So it has the same V12 as the GTC4 Lusso, which is a 6.3 liter V12, and it puts out 680 horsepower and 514 pound-feet of torque. Very well up until this point right here. But what I think is the problem with this car is the design of this thing. It looks to me like the project of a first semester automotive design student. It doesn't look elegant or graceful at all, in my opinion. The first time I saw this car, what it actually reminded me of is the secretary from Monsters Inc. The face looks exactly like the face of this Ferrari BR20 here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you exactly why I think this is a really bad design by Ferrari and a car that I wish I wouldn't have seen by Ferrari. And in the end, I'm gonna redesign this and show you some of the changes that I would like to see applied onto this design to make it more in line with what I think a Ferrari is supposed to be like. I feel like they're very lost right now. They have some really good designs at the moment, and they have some really weird designs that feels like they have no idea. They lost the sense of what a Ferrari is. So to go deeper into this, we're gonna of course jump into Photoshop, and this is where the fun stuff begins, because I'm gonna show you the side view of the BR20 right here. If we look at the proportions look a little off. Just looking at it like this, it might look like a cool design. It's a cool two-door front V12 front engine design, but the proportions to me are a little off, and that has to do with this massive wheelbase right here, which looks a little too long for this type of design for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe because of the GT4 Lusso is a more of a shooting brake, so it has an ending that goes something like this. That might have some impact on the proportions. I also think that this upper corner here, it sits too far up this way. It sits too far out. What I want to do is just bring it closer to the rear end of the car and not have all this graphics. You see this line right here, these lines right here, this line right here, they all point outwards like this, and it doesn't have a nice, solid, graceful, elegant Ferrari rear end on this design. It's nowhere to be seen. And then we have, look deeper into the graphics here, we have some really strange graphic features being mixed and combined and smashed together that I'm not sure I understand what Ferrari is trying to do here, and it's very unlike Ferrari to see something like this too. So we have this line right here, as you can see, a very stretched out, very narrow and rounded air intake right here, and then we have a very organic looking, probably carbon fiber piece down here, as you can see, very organic looking. And also the front end looks super organic, rounded features all over the place, and I really like this fender right here. This is a beautiful line. It reminds me a little bit of the Roma. This is a beautiful line as well. But what really happens now when we look at the main line in the side view of this BR20 here, that is the sharp, almost horizontal ruler line that we have going straight here. So in the middle, we have this sharp line that has no connection in the rear. It doesn't connect to anything right here in the rear. It's zero connections in the front end. It just crashes into this wall right here. And this is not what I'm expecting to see from Ferrari. Ferrari to me is supposed to be the brand of beautiful line flow, elegance, and lines that connects from one. You can follow one line in the front end, and then you can capture it in the rear end of the car if you just draw out a line between those 2 points. But in this case, it's a mess of lines going all over the place, and the complexity of this rear end, which I'm going to show you in a bit here, it simply doesn't make sense to me why Ferrari did this. I want to throw in the Roma here to show you that Ferrari can do a lot better than this. And we have the Roma down here, which is one of my favorite Ferraris for sale right now when it comes to the design. This to me is what a Ferrari is supposed to be like. It's not supposed to be aggressive. It's not part of Ferrari to be aggressive and angry. That is all Lamborghini. And I feel like they're trying to mesh or mix up Lamborghini DNA with their original elegance that is Ferrari, and out comes stuff like this. What does make sense is these beautiful lines right here of the Roma. We have very simple lines like this. The shoulder line stretching all the way from this point all the way forward with a single line like this. You have this connection connection to the front end. See this little wing right here that continues into the body and then goes into this point right here as well. Simple design, simple lines, elegance from Ferrari. I also want to show you the Portofino M, because some of you might say that this line right here, it already exists in the Portofino M, and you would be right. However, in the Portofino M, that line actually has a connection, a strong connection to the front end. So I'm going to show you that right now. Here we have the Portofino M, and here you have this line that we talked about in the BR20, but here you have a line that is connected to the side view, and then that creates the entire front end of this car. If we look at the same line, which I'm going to show you in front view of the BR20, there is zero connection to this line in the rear or in the front. It's just a very sharp line that exists in the middle of the car for no reason at all. So you can see that right here. Just want to show you that real quick before we jump over to what I think Ferrari does best, and that is line flow. So here you have the line that we're talking about. It exists for no reason at all, has zero connection to the rear or the front, which I think is a massive problem for this one-off that's supposed to be this elegant 50s, 60s homage, which to me totally bombs that mission. So I want to show you the 458 here. This is to me peak elegance of Ferrari. So 2010, 2009-10, Ferrari came out with a 458. This is, I'm pretty sure this is the last Pininfarina design. I might be wrong on that. Pininfarina had a very good collaboration with Ferrari as long as they were in charge of the design, and this to me is peak Pininfarina Ferrari collaboration. And I want to show you why this car is so special to me. That has to do with the elegance, the line flow. It still looks like a sharp, almost like a spearhead when you look at it from this view, but it's not aggressive. It's still graceful and elegant. That's exactly what a Ferrari is to me. So what we have here, let's have a look at the line flow here. We have these beautiful fenders going right here, dips into this door right here, and then you have this long rear fender right here. You can see that this connects then to this part in the front. So we have a connection right here, and also you have a tiny little, you can barely see it, but there is a line right here, and guess what? That connects to this side of the car right here as well, going down here. And on top of that, you even have if we follow the greenhouse, if we follow this line, it goes into the rear graphics. So this little chamfer that's underneath the taillights, it connects to the front end of the car, to the C-pillar and the A-pillar and the entire greenhouse. And on top of that, we have these lines now creating a forward motion, moving the whole car forward. And it's just a genius piece of design, a beautiful sculpture on wheels that is completely lost when we look at the BR20 here, which is just, as I said, kind of a mess. So I want to show you the front view. Compare the front to the Roma front, and these are basically built at the same time period. So there is no 5-decade-year-old gap between these two designs, and this is what I'm saying. This is what I mean when I'm saying I feel Ferrari is a little bit lost. They make designs like this, and then they go out and make something messed up like this with all of this details in the front end. And this line right here is also, it kind of bends upwards, so it brings in this massive mouth of the front end of the BR20, and it stretches so far that it looks like a massive grin on the front end of the BR20. What I do like about this, I kind of like these headlights. They look a little too squished for me, and they look a little too static because we have the same kind of thickness going all over here, and they have the same kind of distance stretching this way as it stretches this way, which creates a very static graphic feature for something so important as the eyes of the front end of the car. So that's something that I'm gonna change in just a minute here when I attempt to add some more Ferrari-ness onto this design. But you can also see that the line that we're talking about in the side, right about this part right here, this line in the side, it has zero connection to the front end. What I want to do when I change this design is to have these lines right here from the mouth go in and connect better with this line right here. So we have a continuation from the front fender going into the front and creating the mouth. That means that we're gonna have to reduce the width of it by maybe this much. And I also want to fill in this and make this be body colored, so we reduce the size of the mouth, not have it be a whale gape creeping looking at you, make it more elegant, more graceful, more Ferrari in my opinion, just like we have on the beautiful Ferrari Roma down here. Look at the simplicity of these graphics, compare it to the graphics of the BR20. It's like two completely different brands, but not only that, it feels like it's two completely different approaches and philosophies to automotive design. This is what I want Ferrari to do more of. Same with the 296 GTB. It's also a very, very beautiful front end. I want to show you that real quick. We have my favorite recent front engine V12 Maranello up there, and then we have the Roma, of course, and last but not least, we have another modern Ferrari, the 296 GTB, also having this essence of what a Ferrari is supposed to be. Very simple, not aggressive at all, but it still just screams Ferrari with the simplicity and gracefulness of the treatment of the lines right here in the hood, and also the graphic features of the beautiful headlights. The Roma is a very good modernization of the 550 Maranello. But to me, the 550 Maranello is always going to be one of the best looking V12, not only Ferraris, but GT cars of all time. I have loved it since the first time I saw it. It's one of these designs that just gets so much better with age, the 550 and of course the 458 as well. So I want to show you quickly the rear view here before we jump into the redesign. So look at how complex this rear end is. I don't want to bash on Ferrari without having an explanation for why I'm bashing on Ferrari, specifically with the BR20 here, because I want Ferrari to have their own identity and keep their identity that they had since the 60 to 250 GTOs. In the 80s is where kind of Ferrari and Lamborghini started to go separate ways. You have Lamborghini being the crazy lines with the Countach and all the added features onto the car, while Ferrari kept its restraint and kept its gracefulness and elegance. And I think that's kind of be combined more these days. And just look at what's going on here. We have this line right here, framing housing the rear end. Then we have a couple of wings, a wing or something down here, which has holes in it going in here. It's not really a bad looking rear end, but it just feels a little too complex for me when we're talking Ferrari. But if we're going to look at the BR20 from any view, this is probably the view that is most beneficial. But we still have this line that just ruins everything for me because it doesn't have a home in this design. So I'm gonna have to smooth that out. Since everything else around it is smooth, we can't just put a sharp line in there and call it a day just because we want to have a sharp line, specifically not when we're talking about Ferrari. So I want to, of course, compare this to the Roma and just look at how simplistic the Roma is compared to this super complex design. This is more Ferrari, this is more Lambo. But just knowing that Ferrari is building the Roma at the same time that they designed the BR20, it just shows that they have a very wide approach to where they want to take Ferrari. And if it was me, I hope they keep going in the 296 GTB Roma direction instead of this mess with overstyling that seems to be so last decade to me. And Ferrari is just now kind of getting onto this overstyling design trends that pretty much every single other car company has already done in the past decade, and now restraining their designs even more and focusing on proportions and graphic features to really hammer in the design, the identity of a brand. But with that said, let's jump in and continue here in Photoshop, and let's do a couple of changes to the front end of the BR20 here, and let's see if we can apply some more gracefulness to the front end of the BR20 and some more Ferrari philosophy. I usually don't make videos when Ferrari and car companies, when they come out with just a one-off like the BR20 here, but when I first saw this, I really honestly thought that this was just a student rendering from a car design, automotive design student, and not an official Ferrari, because it lacked all the flow, all the gracefulness. Specifically when you combine the graphic features in the front, side, and rear, Ferrari are masters at connecting those lines. That was nowhere to be found in this BR20 here, so I was kind of surprised, and I had to make this video just sharing my thoughts on it and talk about the different directions that Ferrari is currently doing with their designs. It's really interesting to see. I kind of want to know what they were thinking when they sketched up this design, and how they can apply it to the 50s and 60s Ferraris, which were a lot more restrained restraint than the other modern, even more restraint than the Ferrari Roma, for example, today. Why they would take the approach to add more lines into this car if it's going to be an homage to the 50s and 60s designs of Ferrari. To me, it just doesn't make sense. But what we can do now is just play around a little bit with the front end, have some fun, and hopefully, in my opinion, in my wish, is that Ferrari continues to go on the line of the Roma, that design approach, and the 296 GTB, and not the F8 Tributo or the SF90. Looks a little, the SF90 is kind of on the edge there. It's a mix between the kind of new stylized version of Ferrari and the old traditional style of Ferrari. It's a decent looking design. I'm not a huge fan of it. To me, peak, as I said, was 458. Before that, if we talk about front engine V12 cars, the peak to me, when it comes to that, was the 550 Maranello, and then the Roma is slowly taking that back into modern times. Anyway, it's kind of interesting to see Ferrari dropping a design like this that seems so out of place, at least in my opinion. I explained why in this video. One thing that I can be thankful about when it comes to the BR20 is that it is, of course, not a series production car, and it's only going to be a one-off.